What are you doing now, Randy? I'm creating a pop-out. What's a pop-out? Well, I guess you're just going to have to continue watching, huh? Boy, I'll tell you what, that plasma cutter is really awesome. It just cuts right through that stuff like butter with a hot knife. It's just crazy. Already gone through a tip though. That's okay. They're not that expensive. So I'm gonna finish cutting out this thing, and then we'll start welding up. Well, we'll have to do some grinding first, and then we'll start welding in our pop out. I was wondering why I was smelling smoke. Be careful when you're using hot items. You don't have flammable things in the way. That much. I'm gonna cut it on the inside because the way this thing is coming out, it's gonna come right at me on the ladder. So it'll fall out, not in. Oh, I feel so manly. Yeah, I knew that thing was gonna pop out at me. It was already trying to pop out at me when I was up there doing it before. Hope I didn't make it look too easy for you. Now we got a bunch of grinding to do. kind of the stuff that you have to work around. You'll look at the line on this edge of the roof. You know, it's pretty crooked. Unfortunately, what happens when I cut out this piece here, the roof just bowed like this. So the hardest part about putting this pop out in is we need a receiver from this end to this end, and it's all wobbly. So that's going to be a pain in the butt, really. It's probably going to be the hardest part. And being that it's on top in the summer, you know, this time of year in June and July, it's 95 degrees, so you got to do it in the mornings. But so the next stage is to tie the roof in with this. So that's what we're gonna do next. I got lazy, got ahead of myself, and you'll see I haven't ground the top yet. And I've been regretting doing the top because it's such a pain. Because you're upside down and you got sparks and the temperature is hot because you're right by the roof, and it's just a pain. It's one of those things where you just have to set your mind to it, and it's going to take an hour or more to do that. So anyway, that's the update. The reason I did a pop out was because this is going to be this area here. Oh, hey, do you like my rollaway dryer welding stand? the welding is not long enough to go up here, so I have to give some kind of space, get some height out of it. Anyway, this area here is going to be a guest room, and as soon as I finish it, I'm actually going to use it for myself. And then later, when we add more and more, to this setup here, this will turn into a guest room after I move out of it and upstairs into the other area of it. This is only 8 feet across, and I've seen a lot of videos of folks sleeping. A bed barely fits across here, and you don't have a lot of room for cabinet space and stuff. So this extra little 4 foot be nice, because you stick the bed right here, and then you can put your cabinets here, and you put your closet over here. And so I think it's going to be pretty cool. So it'll be the measurements will be 12 by 12, because you got 8 and 4. So that's why I built this pop out. I've got 2 ideas on how to straighten it. One is to run a purling across, and then just take the C-clamps and clamp them together and then weld it, and hopefully it'll be a battle between the strength of the purling or the purling receiver versus the top rail up there. Those top rails are pretty fragile. In fact, if you decide to cut out the whole side, you really need to have some uprights and some reinforcements. Now, so if you notice, I left the hooks up there, and I'm going to take a chain. The other idea number 2 is I'm going to take a chain and then come along and then rebend it, restretch the metal going the other direction. So and then somewhere find a medium in there. But the only problem is, if I start stretching the metal here, bending here, it's probably going to bend over here as well. So I don't have much faith in that. So since the hooks are on there, I'm going to try the come along first and try that. If the come along won't work, then I'm going to cut the hooks, and then try the first method I told you, putting the purling across there and then clamp it together and see if it works. This is really the last, putting this roof together is really the last part of this pop out, except for the siding and wood. So let's give it a whirl, watch and see what happens. something today. Here I am this morning working my butt off because I wanted to finish this up before noon, before it got like 95 degrees, because right now we're running around 95 degrees. And I'm all proud of myself because I welded up that top piece up there, got that thing all nice and straight. And I'm thinking, oh, cool. All I need now is to go down and get some skirting or, siding on that thing. And so I said, well, I'll get all this welded up, real nice. And then when it gets hot, I'll run down to Pioneer, the place I bought the purlings and the metal from. So I run down there and I hooked up my trailer and my truck and everything. I'm all like, oh yeah, I'll come home tonight, have all this sheet metal. And then tomorrow I can go and put the sheet metal up and I'll be done. Yay! Score one for the team, And so I've all patted myself on the back. So I had this long conversation with the guy at the Metal Mart. He says, well, we don't really sell the sheet metal. You kind of order it. What you do is you figure out what you need, and then you give us the measurements. We cut it to size, and then we hand it to you. And I says, oh, that's cool. I just happened to write down the measurements, 50 on one side, 150 and a half on the other side, and then I'm like 111 on the other side. And he says, okay. And I wrote him out on a piece of paper what this thing looks like. He says, well, how did you line up your purlings? Oh, I did them as, I said to him, patting myself on the back again, going, you're like, I'm all this, right? Well, I ran them vertically as the risers. He says, how many feet apart are the risers? And he said, I said, 48 inches. He says, that ain't gonna work there, buddy. I said, well, why not? He says, because the standard width on the sheet metal is 36 inches. And how are you going to take the 36 inches and span the 48? I went, oh no, don't do this to me. I said, I don't know. He says, well, you can run a couple verticals across, but then you're going to have this flapping thing going in the wind. I said, no, don't do this to me. I'm all, patting myself on the back going, yeah, this is great. So guess what I get to do the next day or two? It's going to take 2 or 3 days. I guess this video is being shot on a Monday, and I guess Thursday is when the sheet metal comes in. So about 3 to 4 days. But so it gives me 3 or 4 days. Thank goodness that I didn't weld everything. All I did was kind of tack things up a little bit, and it's going to be easy to tear apart. But I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to tear the whole thing apart. All I'm going to do is take those 2 risers and move them horizontally. And then up on top, I never welded this morning when I did it. I'm just going to pop those off. And I'll figure out, because we have the same problem up there. So I'll probably run the ones up on top either horizontally or the lengthwise, or I'll run it every 36 inches on center. So we'll see. So stay tuned. We're going to be adding to this video. Oh my gosh. I feel stupid now, but he said, no, go back and fix it. I said, that's some more grinding to do. That's the worst part. The worst part about anything you do on these containers is the grinding. It does grind. You got to put earplugs in, and the stuff gets you all over in your face. And yeah. Okay. So stay tuned. I hope so if you ever decide to make a pop out and use metal and purling, make sure you run them horizontally. Okay. That's my gift to you. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll get this thing taken care of, and then you get to see the finished product, hopefully. kind of show you guys how I fixed my screw up. So as you saw earlier, I had the purlins going as going vertical. So now they're going horizontal. How I fixed that was, I just did a simple fix. I just went ahead and took some receiver, a foot-long receiver, and just cut it and welded it into place onto that purling. Same thing with this side here, and of course there. So the right way to do it is to remove this purling and put a receiver there. And just like down here, take this receiver out and put a purling down there. Now, if you look at it from a distance here, you've got 3 purlins, 2 real close to each other. Really, technically speaking, I don't need that purling right there. I can run the siding. Remember, the siding's 3 feet apart. So I could actually screw on there, and then screw there. But I had it, so I did it. So, and the other thing I did was, if you look right there, you'll see a seam. What happened is the risers were one size, but obviously the whole dealio was a lot longer. So instead of scrapping those 2 risers, I went ahead and used them and I tried a different experiment right here. What I did here is I put a receiver in here and then welded it all up. That just doesn't look good to me. But you know, who cares? Because you're gonna have siding on this whole, you're gonna have siding on the side, and then on the inside, you're gonna have, you know, drywall or whatever in the interior. And so you'll never see it. And as far as structurally goes, it's an overkill compared to a lot of people doing wood. So, and we're safe over here because we got the purling running this way, and we got this purling running this way, and then got this purling running this way. So we're safe on the 36-inch siding on there. As far as the roof goes, I haven't decided yet. I might just leave it alone and just run, because that distance there is only 48 inches, 4 foot. So I might just leave alone and just run the siding, screw the siding in and be done with it. But then again, I might put a couple 36s going across. I haven't gotten that far yet. And you're probably wondering about this chain. Well, what happened is I welded those uprights, those risers, and when I tore them off, this front section here got out of square with the container. So luckily I haven't welded everything yet. So what I did was I noticed this morning, the very first thing I did this morning is I checked all the squares and all the see how, if they were level or not. Came to find out this one here, this riser, and this riser here was off about 2 to 3 degrees. And so that would have kind of screwed things up putting siding on. So I went ahead and ran that chain across there and then squared it up. I'm gonna leave it there because what I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna weld everything. And being that I put these 2 purlins going across there horizontally, that's gonna change, that's gonna help square it up. So hopefully this whole doggone thing will be nice and square when I get done. So a couple more days, maybe tomorrow, depending on how my day goes, I'll go and finish welding everything permanently, and then I'll be waiting around for the siding to come, and as soon as the siding comes, we'll put that on and then put the floor in, and then of course the rest of it's all inside, electrical and drywall and all the other stuff that goes on it. Anyway, that's how I fixed it. That's not the correct way to do it, but I was not going to go and swap out this and this and this and this, and then just the thing just crumble apart. So structurally it's fine. In fact, I think I'm gonna put a cross beam from here to here on both sides, because this is not going to be supported. You know, it's bottle jack right now is supported. I was trying to raise it up and see if it would square it up, and it didn't square it up. So this, when we set it on the foundation, this will be free floating. And so I think it's a good idea to put a cross triangle right here, and that will add some stability. But you know, the siding on it will do a heck of a lot for that. So anyway, there you go. happy dance. How's that done? Oh boy, I am so happy. Except for the little plastic wrap stuff. That stuff, it just comes, it's all over the place. You have to scratch it, get it off. Oh, I am so happy. This pop out, I'm happy for 2 reasons. Oh man, I'm finally done. That's one. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed it. I've learned a heck of a lot on my welding skills, my trimming, put the trimming on skills, put my siding on and fabrication to the thing. But oh, I'm glad it's what, 2 months it took it to do this. I'm so glad. This has been the major project, other than the windows and the door and the framing. This has been a major project, but it's well worth it. You know, I watched a lot of videos in the last year during the pandemic on these container homes, and I really am inspired, and that's why I did this, is because a lot of you folks that have videos, I don't know if you're going to watch this, or I don't know, I'm just a small guy here in Texas building a home. But if you ever do watch it, man, if you're building a home and you got videos and you got a YouTube channel, I've probably watched you. So I hope this one lets you know you've inspired me. So this is my inspiration. And you know what? If you guys are watching and you want to build a home in the future, a container home, I sure hope I can inspire you. It's a lot of work. And one of the biggest things that I have, it was a challenge to build this, was marrying the box to the container. And I'll tell you the reason why. That metal that the Chinese use, I'm not against Chinese, I'm just saying it's a Chinese box, it was made in China, that metal is so dirty. It's cheap metal. And when you take good American metal, steel, and you weld it to cheap, dirty steel, it's really difficult to weld. I didn't know. I mean, I'm sitting here welding. When I was a kid, my dad taught me how to weld, and I always used good American steel on welding. I've gassed and TIGged and MIGged and stuff like that over the years. And so when I got to this and took good steel and matched it up with bad steel, dirty steel, clean steel versus dirty steel, oh, it's a mess. But I worked through it. I learned a lot. The biggest problem is marrying these two up, because you got to create a leak-free. You can't have leaks. And one of the biggest mistakes I made with this container is I didn't put a pitch on the roof. I was so concerned about having everything nice and square and plumb and level and everything that I got carried away with correctness. And really, the problem that I'm having now is the water accumulates on the top when it rains. And it's not leaking now, but I'm concerned about the future, because you know how water is. Finds a way to get in, it'll get in. So I just wish I put a little pitch on it. And there was a time where I thought about it. I said, no, I want the box look. I want to continue the theme from the container over to the pop out. And I really didn't take seriously how difficult, not difficult, but how much work it was going to be to do a pop out. As you saw in the video, I made some mistakes, and I don't mind sharing the mistakes, because I'm not a contractor, and I'm not saying to you, this is how it needs to be done. You've got to do it this way. This is the correct and proper way to do this. No, I'm not going to do that. This is an inspirational channel. The reason I'm doing this is I'm kind of categorizing, or not categorizing, but I'm kind of cataloging my experience, my journey. And I thought, you know, I want to go back, you know, when I'm an old man, you know, walking around on crutches. This is what I did when I was younger, you know. I want to do this. So I want some some kind of history or some kind of pictures of, you know, what I've done in the past. And I want to inspire you guys. I think what I'm doing is something fun as a project. Some people have hobbies of restoring cars or airplanes or collecting seashells on the seaside. But no, plus I bought this land. I want to build something cool. So anyway, one of the major things you gotta have when doing this is this tool. This little tool, you know, I saw some people using it on YouTube, and I thought, what the heck? What is this stupid little thing? This thing has worked so good. I love it. You gotta have, every toolbox gotta have one of these. So, and then you cannot do, yeah. Did you see the day I put, you saw the time lapse, the day I put those sidings on, it was a little bit of wind, and we have not had any wind in my area in Texas for like, I don't know, 3 months. And it's just been sweaty, miserable working inside here, and no wind. And the day I decided to put the siding on, and what does it do? We get a little breeze and the pieces fall over and stuff. But I called a couple friends. Hey, can you come out real quick and help me out put these things on? Can you imagine taking a 50-pound, that's not that heavy, about 25-pound, 3 foot by 110 inches up against the metal and try to hold it and square it and try to run screws? That was miserable. That was crazy. It took me a whole day to just figure out how I was going to do this solo. And these are all $5 5-inch clamps. These things are miracle workers. I love them. You gotta have, you know, gotta have this, and 6-inch will work too. I prefer 6. I just picked out a 5 one to show you guys. So I hope you like the color. You know, I've been thinking about the color for probably, 3 or 4 or 6 months. 3 or 4, that's a big span, Randy. You know, I've been seeing a lot of grays, and, you know, I really like the grays. When I was at the Metal Mart thing, not the Pioneer Metal Mart where I got the sheet metal, there was the catalog came up with all kinds of different colors, and I says, they had 2 grays. They had a smoke gray and a kind of a brownish gray. I thought the brownish gray was kind of cool, but I don't know. I kind of had in my mind this smoke gray. I would like to have it a little darker, but that is what they got, and I'm not going to go and say, hey, you know, special. No, you don't. They say, this is what we have. Do you want it or not? You know, so okay. So in fact, that brings me to another little story that I walked in there to you know, to get the siding. I said, what do you have? You know, I don't know anything about siding, you know. So the guy hands me 2 catalogs, and he says, okay, this is all the different ripples, you know, the corrugation on there. He says, here, pick out what you want. So I said, okay, I like this one. He said, oh, I'm sorry, that one's outdated and we don't have that no more. Okay. I said, how about this one? He says, oh, no, that one's too hard to get. They special order that one and take you about 10 weeks. I can't wait. I want to get this done now. I drove in here with my trailer, dude, and I said, I was expecting to drive away with these sheets of plywood. He says, no, Mr. Tex, you're not going to be able to do it in one day. We have to take your measurements. And I said, okay, yeah, okay. So I wasn't able to get it. So that day, so anyway, he gives me another catalog, and he said, oh, these prices are cheaper anyway. I says, why didn't you give me that pamphlet right off the bat? He says, I just got to give you options. I said, this is the only option I see, is this one right here. He says, yeah, that's a good option. Take that one. Really? Oh my God. Anyway, so I hope you like the color. I think we're gonna go with this color all the way around. We're gonna paint this side and the back side, and leave the other side alone because we're gonna stack other containers on that. No sense wasting $100 gallon paint, right? And I might do trim paint like here and over here, do like a dark navy blue. I thought about that, or go with a black. I kind of wanted to go with a black or gray overall anyway, but this is what we ended up with. So the painting video will probably come along in the next month or so. I want to finish out the interior, get the electric done, get the closed cell foam done, and get all the water and get everything ready. I kind of want to get this episode part 2 done with the windows, with the glass done. In fact, I think we'll end up painting the thing at the same time we do part 2. So that's how we're gonna go. So I hope I inspired you, and I'm definitely enjoying this journey, and I hope I like bringing you guys along with the journey. So anyway, y'all have a good day. Stay safe, okay? And got more videos coming always. So we'll see. I'm gonna go check on the horses. So ciao for now.